Charlie Couchain here to do another truck camper mod. This time on the back of my Chalet truck camper, which is a 2012 made in 2011. That was back when LEDs were really just becoming into full production and being placed everywhere. Well, this camper was made with a dual light in the back. You can see on both sides. This is the stop and turn, and this was the reverse light. And this is surprisingly, this is an incandescent bulb. And it's not very bright, and as I've been washing it, it's been starting to leak and water has gotten into it. So I want to take this off and replace it with a brand new, as you see, very thin surface mount. And put this in its place, because I'm all about safety. And if one light is good, two is better. So let's get to installing these. Well, the good part of this installation is these lights are in a door on both sides. So I'm not actually going into the camper. It's in the door. But the bad part is when they did this, they weren't surface mount. They actually cut through the door and siliconed it. And when I replace it with the big surface mount light, I'm going to have to cover this opening I bought a thin piece of aluminum plate that I'll paint white and put right over here, and it'll hide this existing hole and just make it for a nice, neater installation. Now I have found on these projects, when you're going to do an electrical project, you should look at the wiring in advance. And this has 3 wires, park, turn, and ground here, and this has 2 wires for the reverse light. And I actually went and did a wiring diagram. Here's the new light and its wires. And here's the RV with its wires. And I lined them up so I know white goes to white and this blue goes to this black one. And this, so I know when I'm done which of these wires goes where. So that's a good first step in my tip for you today. Okay, before we start doing any serious wiring or messing around with electrical on this, the first thing you should always do, unplug the camper and turn your master disconnect off. And after I turn the master disconnect off and unplug the trailer, I always come over here and unplug the truck from the camper. Now the camper is totally isolated and all the power's off. I can start cutting wires if I want. Okay. So now it's easy for me to tell what white and black went here and what these 3 stayed together over here. So I'll know when I do my wiring how to do that. Okay, let's take this off. I want to be careful taking it off. I don't want to wreck the door. There we go. Now I can, this is all silicone. That I got to take off, clean, and polish. I think that light is going to cover all the bad spots. Okay, now to do the other side. Same thing. Let's snip the wires. There we go. Okay, second light ready to install. Okay, the next thing we want to do is this old hole. We want to plug with the piece of vinyl. Even though I'm going to cover the front with the light and the back with the piece of aluminum, I still want to sort of fill that hole in. So let's go cut a piece of vinyl. Okay, I got the piece of vinyl fitted in roughly with the hole where I want it for this hole you see in the back. And then now, you got to sort of mark where all these holes are going to go. Put this sort of in position where I want it. Right there. And then mark these holes. Okay, now to drill the holes. Carefully. Okay, now to put 2 coats of paint. I'm putting a hammer tone white on there to sort of match the camper. Here we go. Let that dry and then we'll give it another coat. Okay, before I mount these lights to the camper, they come with these foam backers, so you don't have to do so much sealing on the back. So what you do is you turn them over, you peel off that backing, and then you stick it to the back. So let's do that. That one's all ready to mount. That'll help make a nice seal to the camper. Okay, now for just in case, I'm going to put some silicone around that piece I put in there, just to make sure if we get any leaks. It's nothing fancy. There we go. There we go. Perfect. Okay, just to be safe, I'm going to put a bead caulking around the top edge. I don't need any in the bottom. If any water got in, I'd like it to come out. So I'm just going to put a bead of caulking like on the. This is a small one. Okay, just so you're aware, I'm using all 832 stainless bolt, washer, and lock nut. So it'll never come loose. So this is the hardware I'm using. Let me show you from the back side. As you can see, it's coming out nice and neat. There. Now, I got my deep socket. Just going to slowly tighten this up. Now I can get my ratchet. I like to do the final tightening by hand, so I have a feel for how tight it is. There we go. Make sure there's no silicone out there. Wow, that's looking nice. Okay, now the fun part of this project, the wiring. Get all these wires coming out, and first thing you gotta do, strip them. There we go. Now I know from my wiring diagram that certain wires here go together. Like the two multicolors go together and the green and yellow go together. That's for each of these lights go together. Now I'm using these little clip-on connectors. I like those. Just put it down there. There we go. There. Okay, we're getting near the end. Gotta do some heat shrinking. Okay, here's how the final wiring came out. It actually came out quite nice. That should keep everything nice and tidy. Okay, let's go try out the lights. How did that look? Did it look good? So there's the final look at the taillights. I love the three pieces of it being lit. And it's much bigger, it's very low profile. It came out fantastic, I like the lighting. Another successful mod.